accomplished that. We fulfilled that.
Okay. Have you had any 911
No.
calls? Any problems with the police?
No. When they broke into the store.
You had an alarm?
We had a broken 2 years ago in August. The burglary, but we cleaned it all up and went at it again. So we made it happen.
Any questions from the board?
I really miss the old seating. You know, I know that you guys did what you did for profit, but I miss that ambiance,
I have an answer.
that feel.
I have an answer. Right now, if you've been there this week, like we are in the process of eliminating the high seating up front, and actually going back to low tables to be able to accommodate both. Papa, you've been there.
I mean, it used to be like, you know, you were in your living room, you know.
That was a little bit too much of a problem because we had like couches and people were like sleeping on the couch. We caught people like sleeping on the couch.
Really?
Yeah. It was just like,
Wow.
So,
No, but it's a great meeting spot because, you know, and the seating was very, you know, kind of good for me. But I guess it was too good for some people. Some people.
After all, it gets about 1,000 cents.
Any questions from the community?
Sorry, where is this located?
404
Lenos.
430.
On 30th and Lenos.
Astor Road.
Right in the corner.
Located at the, you know, the landmark Astor Row houses, the 28 houses by William Astor, which is, you know,
Right.
big draw for tourists, and we
Yeah.
represent that very well.
I like that you guys
We're also
did.
Yes.
So no more issues with security after that unfortunate.
Burglary?
Well, I mean, like, we have cameras and stuff, but I mean, like, as far as, like, incidents with people, no, I think we pretty laid back. Our big logo, like, our big philosophy is be nice or go home. And it's posted in the menu, and it's like, go over there. And it's like, we have our...
Sometimes we switch it up to class.
We have our ways of doing things, and it's just like, you know, this is a nice way, and, you know, that's it. Be nice or go home.
I once went there and I left without paying for my coffee, but I came back and paid for it.
You go there every day.
So you didn't call the police. I paid for it afterwards.
Mr. Ramos, do you live in the neighborhood?
Me?
Yeah.
No, I live in Washington High.
Okay.
158 in Riverside. I live in 129th and 5th. Right around the corner. And, you know, but most of our employees are like within 5 block radius.
Keep up with the work.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Right.
Okay, so I think at this point, we can go into this and then we'll go into announcements. Board member Moss-Yawn will talk about the project. So without any further ado, we'll go right into business. The first matter is L Lounge, Londell Davis LLC, DBA L Lounge, 2131 Fredericksville Boulevard. Any questions concerning issues not discussed during that segment of the meeting? Hearing. If not, I will need a motion.
I make a motion.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor? Renewal. If we don't have quorum, then it will simply be a recommendation to the general board.
No.
So it'll be not currently, so it'll be a recommendation to the. So that's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
7.
6 yes. Okay, next is Bianca's on the Park, doing business as Alhambra Ballroom, 2116 Adam Clayton Powell Jr. Boulevard. Renewal of full liquor license. Any issues, concerns not discussed during that part of the meeting? If not, then I will just need a motion. And a second. All those in favor of the renewal of full liquor license? Okay, that's 5. Any noes and any abstentions? 1. Next is Visit Company LC, doing business as The Alibi, 2376 Adam Clayton Powell, Junior Boulevard. New full liquor license. Any issues, concerns, questions not addressed during their presentation? If not, I would and all those in favor? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Any noes? Any abstentions? 1. Okay. Next is Astor Row Cafe LLC, 404 Malcolm X Boulevard. Applying for a new wine and beer license. Any issues, concerns, questions not addressed during the presentation? If not, I just need one motion. And all those in favor? All 5. Any noes? 1. And no abstentions. And so that ends the business session, and we will now go right into Mary Moss-Yawn, CB10 Board Members, a project to assist local businesses.
Okay, so since the summer, we were talking about how we can assist businesses a little more effectively so that they can have longevity in the community at large. And a part of that project, or a part of that discussion, was that we see businesses that come before us for SLA licenses. They come before us for sidewalk cafes. They come before us for a myriad of, approvals, beer and wine. But there are other things that they could use assistance with, such as recruitment, or such as the MWBE that the Rinaldi group was talking about, or with help accelerating the licenses and permits to build out their spaces. So we heard, from other businesses, I think even Londell mentioned there was a struggle with getting the Disney space open because, the whole rigmarole that business owners have to go through in order to be connected to licenses and permits, or to navigate government, all the city agencies that they need. And all the city agencies they need are FDNY, they need the Department of Consumer Affairs, they need Department of Health, they need the Department of Buildings, of course. There's a myriad of agencies, Department of Design and Construction sometimes. There's a myriad of agencies, and all of their processes are so arduous. It's hard. It makes a business owner not even want to go forward and opening a business. And a lot of times business owners will run out of money by the time they're ready to get open. And and then even when they are in business, then they have struggles, like when they want to hire locally. Let's say that they do hire locally, but then the staff that they have really isn't the quality of the level that they want to keep it on. So like even with, I'm going to use Londell again, when he was talking about he has keepers, those are people that you want to keep. Then there's some people that you might not want to keep, or maybe they just need a little more training in order to get to the level that they are. Well, there are resources that the city offers businesses for free, and businesses just don't know what they don't know. So as a community board, we have a bigger view of everything that is out there for businesses that can help them longevity, stay, and grow. And when we talk about every year, we're looking at our assessment reports, right? We're looking at our community assessment. And our community assessment says that we have a 20% poverty rate. What are we doing about those statistics? Do we just look at our assessment reports every year and just say, okay, these are the statistics, and that's what it is? Or do we look at it and say, how can we improve these numbers? Like, how can we help Harlem grow and prosper? How can we help the people of our community really succeed? So I came up with an idea that was, why don't we develop like a process or some kind of way in which we are not just asking, we ask the questions that we need to ask for the SLA applications, but then maybe we ask a few more questions. Like, what else do you do? What are your struggles, and how can you, as a business owner, continue to operate and stay? Because literally, if you're a business owner, right, if you're in your shoes, you're doing this for your livelihood. This is going to pay your bills, and you're not looking for this to just be something that you do this year or next year. This is something that you want to do forever, right, as a business owner. So how can you stay in business long term? How can you, operate and be able to grow within the future? So the process would be just basically a sheet application that we already have, just asking more questions. And to really make this real, I did kind of a survey with some businesses. And this is the survey that I did. You can pass, I have extra copies. I don't have enough, I don't think, for everybody in here, because I didn't think I would be talking to all of you today. But, so the questions were very straightforward. The first question is, are there barriers that businesses face with community boards? I suspected that most of them would say no, because I don't think that, I think every community board operates differently. Every neighborhood has its own DNA, right? And our community has its own DNA as well. I don't know if they really have barriers in our community, but I would say that probably if we were to take the survey in other neighborhoods, there may be different opinions. But we asked that question. We said, when the city has initiatives to help the community, is it effectively communicated to the community? And there have been numerous articles out there that have suggested that, when the community has initiatives, they're like, they may go to the bid and announce it, or they may go, to certain neighborhood associations and announce it, but they're not thinking really about the community boards. But the community boards are the front lines of city government. This is where businesses they come to see us first. So community boards should be on their list of outreach as far as getting initiatives out. Questions like, will an assisted approach to community development through the city help grow the economy more effectively in our neighborhoods? This is just, just asking businesses from their point of view, what do they think? And will city assisted services through the community board help small businesses thrive compared to growing your business on your own without any assistance? So again, a business can go in circles and circles and circles trying to figure out or navigate the government process on their own, or they can, come before a community board, and a community board can say, where else do you need help, and be able to direct them. And they don't have to, go through the city or get help from the city. They can just, they can say yes, they can say no, they can give it a try. Maybe it doesn't work for them, maybe it will. But it would be nice to measure if it works or if it doesn't work, and to see what the business owners have to say. So the results of that survey, and this was just a small focus group, are here.
So how many did you,
There was a total of 50 businesses that I asked, but on this data that you have are a focus group of 7, whom I would like to bring in to talk to them even further, to get more information from them.
So, did the results of the 50 differ substantially from the 7?
So you can see here, like in the bar chart, it's, we went from strongly agree to strongly disagree. So, with the first question being, are there barriers businesses face with community boards? There was, 14% said they strongly agree, 71% said they agree. So largely right there, they feel already that there are barriers. There are no barriers, but most of them strongly disagree. When it came to, are there challenges when city initiatives are being communicated, most of them agree. When it comes to an assisted approach, would an assisted approach help with development, most of them agree. And when it came to city assisted services through community boards helping with small businesses thrive, they strongly agreed. So there's obviously, in the minds of this particular focus group, they agree that this may work. The question is, does it really work? We would need to put the rubber to the road and really kind of try to see if it would or if it wouldn't. And the only way we can do it is to try it and implement it. And I thought, since it's a new year, it's 2016, and it's a new year, it's a new day, this is the perfect time to kind of pilot it, see if it works. And I had a few board members look over the form, and they gave their ideas, their concepts. I'm carrying off this for a reason. I'll come back to that in a minute, but I'm going to pass this down. This is a sample of what the extra questions would look like a kind of a form that they would fill.
Thank you for doing all this work.
Thank you. So, for example, business courses to learn how to improve marketing or to figure out how you can improve cash flow. These services exist in the city, and if a business says, I need this, then they check it off. Financial assistance, okay, businesses always need a good cash flow of money so that they can run their businesses and pay the people that they employ. So there's access to loans that they can receive. There are loans out there that you don't even have to have a social security number. Like there are banks, there are banks that will give you small loans, and then they look at how you recoup that money, then they'll give you a little bit more. They look at how you recoup that money, then they give you a little bit more. So as they can trust you, they start to build. They start to build more, they start to give you more and more money. Training to boost your staff skills. Maybe you have somebody who has 60% of what you need to help your business grow. Like they're really good at customer service, but they're really bad at taking orders, or something of the sort. You can find any kind of training that you can imagine, and the government will pay 70% of that, and you can implement that training within your business. But businesses don't know that these things exist. They don't even know that it's out there for them to utilize. Recruitment, saving time and money while hiring. Some of the business owners that came before us today said that they used Craigslist or they used, referral systems, and that works really well. Referrals work really well because you know people and they're like, trust me, this person is good. Sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't work. But also there are, the East Harlem Talent Network who came before us and represented, and the Rinaldi group made mention to them that they're using them. That shows that that works. Or Workforce One. They said they were using Workforce One. So the main point for us is making sure that people are being hired locally. Because we could easily do away with the statistic of 20% poverty rate if people just moved, right? Then you move people who work downtown or something. No, we want people to stay in the community. There are people who want to stay in this community. They want to live and work in this community, and they're able bodies, they're ready. We should make the connection to the businesses and the people who want to work, right? So that's what recruitment would do. And they would just check that box if they need that. Certification to become MWBE certified. I love that the Rinaldi group explained what MWBE was and how you can get it on the federal, state, or local level, and that you could be connected to those services and be certified. So if they need that, like even with certain restaurants, I was gonna say Cove, they have sauces. Businesses, they look for different ways, many avenue streams of income. And selling sauces, you could sell those you could get a contract and be providing your sauces on a government level when you're MWBE certified. So just being able to know that, and I love the fact that the Rinaldi group is doing this, that they are looking to hire locally for MWBE contracts. They're not going outside the community. They're working with local groups to make sure that people are able to implement their skills into their developments. And then legal assistance. Okay, so a caveat to the legal assistance. Now, everybody needs somebody to review their lease before they sign it, because a lot of people sign their lease and they have buyer's remorse and they're like, gosh, if I would have known this clause was in here, I would not have signed this lease. So you get pro bono legal services, but it's only for an hour, and then they work out a deal with you. But the point is that if you're a business owner and you just go out there and you're just gonna sign this lease because it just seems like a cool place and the landlord was good enough, you really want to kind of make an informed decision, right? So when you're doing that. And then incentives, there are actual incentives. As we know, the empowerment zone had incentives for businesses to come into the community. So being able to let people know about what incentives are available to them. And then again, navigating government, all the city agencies it's a headache. I work with this division that works with all the city agencies. And again, you'll talk to one agency, they'll say, your client needs to do this. Talk to the other city agency and they're like, no, it's this. And just getting them on the same page so that we can help the business owner get their business to fruition. So that's it. And then we also talked about over the summer corporate or social responsibility, because we have now big names coming into this community, big names that we hadn't seen before. And, you know, we know that their goals are to, you know, obviously make a profit. But we also have a lot of organizations in our community that could use support, right? And just doing this Martin Luther King Day event, you know, there are mom and pops who have, you know, will donate brunch. Here you go. You know, and that's a beautiful thing. But what about these big names that are coming into the community to support, you know, the nonprofits that are in the community struggling and need the support? You know, they don't always, it doesn't always have to be monetary, but at least let them know the lay of the land, let them know the communities that exist here and how they can, you know, how we can connect the dots and support them.
I don't want to interrupt, but could you please give a shout out to your the activity on Monday that you're
Oh, yeah.
putting together?
Oh, okay. Shout out to Monday. On King Day, I do have flyers here for people if you
Excellent.
want to go. I guess I can pass these around. On King Day, from 11 to 12:30, and people are like, this is gonna run over because the program is incredible. We're bringing together, we're having something called Unity in our community. We brought together about 4 schools from District 5. It's funny how you get things started and then all the other schools want to join in afterward. But they're all coming together on this day to show a unity. We know District 5 schools are, you know, challenged, and we're trying to find ways in which they can grow and prosper, and we want them to know that the community supports them. And the students are coming from PS 30, PS 129, PS 175, and IS 286. And the students are going to be performing a rendition of The Wiz as they go through the life of Dr. King. Mayor David Dinkins will be there. Bill Brewer will be there. President Bill Brewer will be there. I believe, Assemblymember Keith Wright is definitely going to be there. And I think she's going to be there. I think Congressman will be there. There are many events going on Monday, so they're going to try to make it if they can. But, and I even got a call from Comptroller Scott Stringer today. You know, he wants to be. But the point is, the whole reason why we're doing this is to support our students of our community and to bring unity in our community. And we also are honoring Dr. Khalil Javon Muhammad, who is the grandson of Elijah Muhammad, and the director.
The great grandson.
Yes, the great grandson. Thank you. And he is the director of the Schoenberg, and we're honoring him, and we're honoring the Metro Academies for their commitment to the community and providing positive social change. So that's going to be a nice event. We have brunch, we have donuts, dough.
That's a question that I have. Is that like, is there one around here, a dough?
No, there isn't. There is not a dough here, not yet. I'm sure they'll be coming uptown after this event.
They're amazing donuts.
Those donuts,
Where are
they're a meal.
They're in Brooklyn, there's some in Midtown, the hibiscus donuts are the
Yeah,
Oh, I see them.
yeah, they're a meal.
Okay, don't
two. Thank you for supporting us. Thank you, thank you.
So,
Welcome.
Thank you, Todd.
oh, thank you.
Take care.
Those are students. Oh, wait, before the students go, can you guys come back and tell us, come back, tell us who you are
Oh, yeah.
and
At
what,
the school.
yes, identify yourselves.
I'm Nick Evans of Project That's Academy.
Coordinator for the
Kendall White, Project
And what do you guys
My name is
do?
Renee Jarvis. I go to the Federal Douglas Academy too.
Hi, sis, Bob, and I go to the
Is it 1 or 2?
Oh, there's one.
Last one featured
What grade level are you in?
senior.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You're right to college.
Summer jobs.
That's it.
Yeah,
This is
we
a
were
project?
Yeah, find a way.
Yes? Come and see us, for sure. Like, drop your resume, come here with your working paper. Good job, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Take care.
Thank you.
Can I interject in what you're saying?
Yes.
Can I just go like a few minutes?
Sure. So we'll be very interested to hear about your initiatives because we're one of those businesses who have to navigate through.
Oh, yes.
I tried to call the Department of Health 5 times a day for the past week, and we're still getting the voicemail, and we'll get back to you.
Thank you.
So we'll be very happy to get this kind of help, and thank you so much.
This is exactly what it's saying. So I've owned businesses and operated in New York City, food businesses, since 1992. Okay, I still do. In addition to helping actually businesses like Ramos, our company represents over 1,000 New York City businesses.
Wow.
Okay. And I decided to start this company, Restaurant Solutions, about 10 years ago, just because when I was sitting downstairs in one of my businesses, I was hitting my head against the wall because I couldn't find people and help and agencies because the disconnect is so great. It was back then. We're talking about food business industry. Every single business has interacts with 13 different city and state agencies on a regular basis.
Mm-hmm.
To master one, you need to spend years. There's no school, there's no agency that will give you a manual, say, when you master this, you're gonna ace it and you're gonna know what to do. The only way you can really navigate the system is by really doing it. And the problem is that between now and 2005, when I started Restaurant Solutions, is about 15 times worse. So the government, the city state government, the regulatory environment is purely punitive. It's revenue driven, and I can tell you firsthand, it has nothing to do, like health department, we do 2,000 cases a year, just health department, represent. Well, we work very closely with State Liquor Authority, punitive, very punitive. Department of Buildings, Fire Department, when they give you criminal court appearance tickets for minor offenses, and then you need to hire an attorney, and then you spend $1,000, and then you know you were in such a deep hole that there's no way out of it. You mentioned about reading leases. Reading leases is just the tip of the iceberg because people are so eager to sign a lease. And there's nothing like protecting commercial lease and tenants, because just about a week ago we had a client that came to us and said, well, listen, we said such a bind. I said, why? Well, we looked into a problem. Signed a lease several months ago without someone read the lease. Reading a lease doesn't really do anything because I mean a little bit. But you don't if you don't do your due diligence and check the record of building, fire department, SLA, community board, and all that that's involved, they got themselves into $80,000 problem. Why? Because they signed a lease as is, and the kitchen was completely illegal. Someone put in a kitchen, and right now they have about $25,000 in fines, and to undo what's already done, it costs them an extra $80,000. So now what do? You know what I'm saying? These are just examples of the current situation. The reality is that every single agency just wants money from you, because he's a golden egg-laying goose. That's what he is to the government, and they see dollar signs all over his head, and that's what they do. The health department, to be honest with you, is a pussycat comparing to like Department of Consumer Affairs or Department of Buildings, because God forbid you have a wire sticking out of the wall. It's a work without permit violation, but in order for you to clear, you have to pay civil penalty of $5,000 off the bat, without even questions asked. There are so many issues right now, ranging from compliance to regulatory to legal in the city, that it's just a maze. It's impossible. I've been doing this for 22 years, 23 years owning operating businesses. In addition to we have 2 lawyers working for our firm. We have 12 people full-time, and another 6 people part-time working out of firm. I started from zero. It's because there's that much demand. Because why? There's not one agency. The city started this agency, Quick Start, something. It's a joke. They come in, do inspection on a pre-operation inspection for a food industry place. So okay, this is okay, whatever. And then 2 weeks later, they're going to send a health department inspector to stop them with 60 points. Because it's all money. And I see it day in, day out, day in, day out. So initiative is very much needed, but it would need tremendous effort. Because I go to community board meetings every single week. I'm here today. I was a couple of weeks ago, I was in Queens, I'm going to Brooklyn, and every single community board has its own directives, works completely differently.
Yep.
So even to get through to you guys, sometimes it's very difficult. You know, and we want to work with you because you're at the basic level of the government. But you're all very segregated. It's like you guys are working different. So it's a great initiative, but this will requires enormous effort. Enormous effort. And I don't know where you could start, because I'm very passionate about this business. I spent 30 years in it. My regular degree is restaurant hotel management, and I've owned, operated businesses in New York City. It's in my blood. But really, right now, food business, you operate on 8 to 10% profit margin. God forbid you have a hiccup, you're $50,000 in debt. Thank you.
Thank you.
I needed to say it.
Give us some card.
I needed to say it.
Wow, that was an education.
Do you find the regulatory groups a little bit nicer under de
Worse.
Blasio?
Worse.
Oh, yeah.
Health, I mean, again, people think the health department
The
is.
sidewalk violations are not as bad under his.
I don't have more, I'm
I'll
sorry.
tell you that.
I don't have more.
But all the
I'll take a
other.
picture.
Sidewalk cafe, you have one share too many, okay? First violation is $100, the second one is $1,500. I mean, God forbid, you know, customer can go inside, bring a chair, bring it outside because you got a party. You don't think much of it. The third violation, they shut you down with a marshal padlock for you for 7 days and $8,000 in fines.
Well, let me say something. I've seen so many violations up in Harlem with these sidewalk cafes, and nothing, they're not enforcing like that. I don't see such great enforcement to regulate these sidewalk cafes.
And I think it depends on the area too, because, you know, you'll see that there are certain areas that are more targeted than others.
Right, so it's very selective sometimes.
I tell you, from my experience is, I know personally establishments that have been basically on a DL for many, many years without license, and they have sidewalk cafe on a residential street. And because they're really quiet, you know, nobody likes it,
Right.
they don't really create much, you know, much noise. 9 o'clock, they put everything away. Everything's, you know, hunky-dory. But when it's high traffic area, this
Right.
is really a lot of noise, they're going to be targeted more. Department of Consumer Affairs, they don't really have that many inspectors. There really needs to be a 311 call in order to trigger it. Because every complaint has to be
Right.
mandatorily, investigated.
So every 311 call is the trigger
Correct.
for a business,
Yes.
and the city agency to come and do enforcement. If nobody complains, it flies
Right.
under the radar, because I
That's
mean,
right.
gosh, it's 8.5 million people on this island, you know, or these islands. But, you know, when they call 311, it's pronto. You know?
And there have been cases of unlawful interior demolition on 125th Street, and even after they find out after the fact that there's no penalty, you know. So it depends what type of business you are. It really depends. If they're trying to gentrify a neighborhood, they'll let it go. So it's all selective, you know.
Very much so.
I hear what you're saying, because I used to own a restaurant